for courage and honor of the 40,000 era of Ultramarines has yielded the finest warrior to serve their company, their chapter, and the absolute humanity purpose, the Emperor. Lieutenant Demetrian Titus from the Second Company is known to be his latest status. His appearance was always from the series of Space Marines game for the past decade. Good news is, he recently had his own miniature and his lore on White Dwarf magazine. That's why we have a chance to make this video, of course. Hello there! As we all knew from the beginning and the title, we're going to see how I painted Titus. And of course, so many of you guys correctly guessed the project. Great job, peeps! Plus, I know they're obviously wrong, but I really do like this comment from EP.3. Before we dig into the main point, I really need to say my apologies for this huge amount of delay. I have had an issue with painting supplies and shooting devices. I promise I'll improvise with these issues better next time. Okay, hope you don't mind. I got this Titus from the second-handed market, so everything, pose, position, base are, kind of fixed. And as you can see here, the previous owner also put an orc skull at the base too. I bet he tried referring to the lore from the first Space Marine game, as the orcs is one of the major enemies of Titus. Back to his early days, even before any Space Marine series, Titus was an ordinary human and was chosen by Scott Company to follow the Emperor's path by becoming a Space Marine. He fought his way through and finally settled with the Second Battle Company of Ultramarines, which is one of the superior fighting units found all over the Imperium. We're going to focus only on his major change when he once became the captain, the major event before his official lore in Space Marine 1. So, before everything happened in the game, he was already a sergeant who served under Lieutenant Trajan, the newly promoted captain of Second Company. Their main mission is to cleanse all kind of Xenos invasion out of Ultramar's under control world. Until one day, Captain Trajan was tasked to deal with Eldari aggression on Beta Archulus. The planet actually once belonged to the Eldari Empire, which is also where another key faction appeared, the Craft World Belton. The Beta Arcturus governors were threatened to withdraw from the planet, so the planet will once again belong to Assyrian. But I assume the offer got rejected because the Second Company received a distress call later that. When they arrived, of course, they fought with the Xenos as they've been tasked. Captain Trajan trusted Titus to command his squad to fight against elite warriors, while he honorably fought with the Utark commander himself. As we expected, the Eldari was at a disadvantage and retreated. But that was not the whole victory of the Ultramarines. During their withdrawal, the enemy has captured one of the battle brothers who serves under Titus' command. And his name? He is Leandros. You might want to remember his name if you want to play the Space Marine series. Captain Trajan commanded Titus to hold and secure the position while he's on his way to recover Leandros with his combat squad. However, the table has turned. The Eldari lured and ambushed the captain, then quickly cut him down. For this time, luck wasn't on his side. He honorably died while he did his best to fight against the ambush. So Titus led the counterattack against the ambush squad for good, then brought Trajan's body and retrieved Leandros back to Macrage. He then got promoted to a new role he never ever asked for. He became the new leader, the new captain of the second company granted by Manuel Kaugar himself. Then, 10 years later, the Space Marine story began. I decided to make him a little more vivid than the original color of Ultramarines, so I used Force Heart and Thalassa Blue for base armor. But before doing so, I simulated possible reflecting areas on the minis with white, at least to guide myself so I didn't lose my intention. And of course, I'm going to do enamel with him. I try to achieve dirty gold rather than gold, just like, gold bars or something. I like my gold muted but shiny, so Sahara yellow and green brown is my top choice to do gold. If you want to achieve more of a yellowish tone, you can use Everland Sunset or Sun Yellow and Flashgates Yellow instead of those two. But you still need Ice Yellow for both recipes. I want his leather goods to have a reddish undertone so his whole scenario won't get too dim. So I used Rhinox Hide, Sandal Brown, and Parasite Brown to finish the look. It also enhanced the armor to look more like bluer. Maybe there's a better explanation, but yeah, they're a compliment. For his loincloth or top off, it appears that he wears a kind of beige cloth or maybe just a dirty white piece. I honestly didn't know. Anyway, I used Char Brown, Baneblade Brown, Rockcloth Flesh, and touch-up highlight spots with Palette Wish Flesh. I just got a red recipe that I like from one of my good fellow painters. The recipe is Burnt Red, Bloody Red, and German Yellow. It looks vivid, right? In comparison of my previous project, I have to say that I'm pretty satisfied with that. I actually was going to use decal for his left shoulder, but I was afraid that the shade of decals would ruin the whole picture I'm trying to do. And since these decals are shiny, it may ruin my shading intention too. I might find a solution in the future so life may be easier for me, but for now, I just told myself to do it free-handed with Muzzle Grey and Glacier Blue. About his weapons, I used Dark Reaper and again Glacier Blue to create dimension and scratches without suppressing black property, and the sewerage parts were used with Muzzle Grey and Ice Yellow. So now, the special part which make Titus his face. So his appearance aged a bit after his first official appearance in the Space Marine game. I assume he's now around 400 years old, judging from his service stats. So his wrinkles developed like a middle-aged adult. His scar multiply. I would say I prefer this version of him better than his first game cause, Here's today's highlight, the OSL. I want his gun exposed to muzzle flash as he is firing anything before his sight. So here's my sketch I did with Procreate and tried to tune up and down between 3 levels of exposures. I decided to do the second option and I think it will turn out great like my imagination. Yay! I'm gonna be honest, this is actually upset me. Well, that's fine. I'm going to fix my problems cause no one will and I'm a fighter, so... Whew. Well, let's start this again. I already reprimed the surface and repainted his gun again. What I learned from doing the mistake, muzzle flash does not tend to have that large effects like bigger heating sources like the actual fires such as flamethrower or bonfire. His gun only flashed. It creates heat of course, but a single muzzle flash has a lesser lifespan than the actual fire, So the burning process is short. What I'm going to do is to reduce the red part where it is supposed to be the fire stain that I've planned, and usually just yellow and orange to convince people that this is a quick action of muscle flesh rather than an action of fire. If you know what I'm saying. But also, if you have a better explanation, please comment down below because I'm just dumb. Appreciate it. For Titus' final step, I touch up... What? For Titus' final step, I touch up his armor with battle scar and highlighted his armor with sky blue and force heart. Let's move on to the base. As I've mentioned, the base has been fixed since I've got him, so I'm going to improvise with what I have. I apply 1x1 latex and water onto where I want it to become the earth's surface and dip the whole base into miniature soil. Then I cut pieces miniature plants and assemble them into 3D pieces. I really recommend this kind of foliage because you can, adjust, paint and reshape them whatever you like since they're made out of brass. For this scenario, I decorated the base with fern and monstera. Then prime the whole thing with black primer. I've tried many Tierney's method before until I got this result. I think I still need further improvement, but I'm going to go with this first. Long way to learn, pals. But let's hear my idea, okay? I want his flesh to have a dynamic skin, so I gave him his pale flesh as in game Tyranids and used Athonian camouflage to emphasize flesh depth, but also give him pink flesh so he doesn't look bland and to demonstrate soft tissue, like us mortals. So I believe this idea has the potential to improve in the future. For his tail, I kinda use both in-game and box art references to choose the palette. I prefer to the violet tone from the game, but also think this version is too dark, which actually looks fine in the game, but when the miniature comes to stand alone, not in a horde, my Tyranid will look dull, and the whole picture of the project would look incomplete. The box art, on the other hand, is brighter with a purplish tone, so I decided to combine these two together. If you want to follow this recipe for your Tyranid, then I'll take that as the compliment. Next is the foliage. I used the same recipe for all pants here. My plants look more like a military shade of greens. Maybe I'll try another foliage method, maybe the vivid one. I'm not so sure, but I'll try the colors after these. But right now, I'm quite pleased with what I did and touch up the base with miniature green turf. Then let's have to see the final result together.